Hello everybody and welcome back. Great weather, great time for finally another video. Today I would like to talk about a topic where I've been wanting to talk about for the last half a year, and that is my time studying at the University of Bayreuth and living in Bayreuth for close to 4 years. Because I remember when I started thinking about studying in Bayreuth and thinking about studying in general, I still know that I had a lot of questions in mind, and that's what I would like to help you with this video. So I was studying in Bayreuth for 4.5 years. I studied business administration and engineering, and then only finished the business administration part. So just for your background, in Bayreuth, business administration and law are the biggest subjects or biggest groups of students, biggest faculties, and it's combined in one faculty. But let's first talk about Bayreuth as a city, as a place to study in general. And starting off, Bayreuth is located in Bavaria, of course. It's in a very northern part of Bavaria and also a little bit of the eastern part of Bavaria. So it's not too far to the Czech Republic border. Bayreuth has about 70,000 inhabitants. It's a medium-sized city for Germany. And the university itself has, I think, about 15,000 students, and so the university itself would be considered medium-sized as well. But if you can already see the ratio from 15,000 students to 75,000 inhabitants overall, there's a pretty high student density in the city. And that's what makes the city quite young also, which is nice, I think. So then, talking about Bayreuth as a city in general, I personally really learned to like the city. And I think I didn't really learn it, but I liked the city from the beginning. But that depends on your type. If you like big city life, Bayreuth is nothing really for you. Yeah, it's medium. You can get everywhere quite quickly. Yeah, just by foot even, or by the bicycle. University campus is located on the southern end of the city, and the train station, for example, is located right at the northern end of the city. And you can make it from south to north, so once straight through the city in 10 minutes with a bike. So that gives you a little bit of an impression for the dimensions in Bayreuth. And there's only, in terms of public transport, there's only buses, which work fine. Most of the time you will want to use the bicycle anyway. And then I just mentioned Bayreuth University is a campus university, so that's what makes it quite unique in Germany, because campus university means all the faculties are basically located on one place, on one campus, so to say. So there is the faculty of natural sciences, business administration and law is one big faculty. There's a lot of engineering faculties. There's like social studies and language, and there's a lot of teachers studying in Bayreuth. And that's right located at one single point, and there's a point where all faculties kind of lead to or circled around, and that's what we call the rondel. It's like a big circle right in the middle of the campus. That's where everything originates from. In the beginning, it can be quite tricky to to find your way around campus, because around this circle everything looks so similar, yeah. So I had troubles with it in the first few weeks, but I learned now that they put up some signs to help with that. So that's what I really liked, because in the beginning I started to study business administration and engineering. So business administration is business and law, and then you have the engineering faculties. So if it wouldn't have been for a campus university, I would have probably had to get from a business studies to engineering class. I had to circle through the city to make it to another faculty. But because it's a campus university, it's just next door, and that's what makes it really easy and convenient to study interdisciplinary subjects. So that's my point on that. There's 2 cafeterias which are all fine. Then the campus also features some sports grounds. I only had a little bit of experience playing soccer there, so I can't really tell you too much about that. But there's actually, what I wasn't thinking, there's actually a lot of international students in Bayreuth, especially from China, but also a lot of African students, because I think Bayreuth University is the university in Bayreuth that has the biggest focus on the African culture and has a lot of African related study subjects. So yeah, that's what came to mind. And then let's talk about living in Bayreuth as a student. Because the city is not too big, it's easy to get around, as I said, but it's also not too difficult to find decent accommodation, and decent accommodation for a decent price also. There's a lot of student dorms that's basically just next to the campus, so I was able to step out of my student dorm and be at mostly any building, any faculty within 10 minutes. And yeah, you just generally have short ways, short commutes in Bayreuth. Everything is easy and nice to get to. There's no traffic if you go by car. That's just, yeah, I really like that. Then talking about student life, in the semester holidays, so when there's no classes, you can feel that the life gets a little bit calmer, because many students leave to go home and to go on holiday, and that you can really feel that. So there's less of activity, yeah, less WG parties and less parties overall. So I didn't mind that, but some people did and do, so that's why I'm mentioning it. And I was talking about affordable housing in Bayreuth, and for a student dorm you can get a room with everything included, except maybe GZ, that's the tax, the TV license tax, for around 210 euros starting from there, yeah. So it doesn't compare to Munich, yeah. It's definitely way cheaper than Munich, but it's a different city, of course. Yeah, so I still like to go back to Bayreuth. It's it's a city, a medium-sized city, but around it, kind of like here, yeah, for let's say 80 kilometers in each direction, there basically is just farmland and forest. And yeah, it's nice to go cycling. But then talking about talking about access and transport. So Bayreuth, for the car drivers of you, lies right on the autobahn that connects Berlin and Munich, the A9. And so if you want to go either north towards Berlin or south towards Munich with the car, that's perfect. Also, you can easily head west, direction of Frankfurt or sorts. So with the car you're fine. With the train, it's always a little bit of a pain because there's no train really going north of Bayreuth. To go north, so for example, if you want to go from Bayreuth to Berlin by train, you would have to go from Bayreuth south to Nuremberg. That takes you 1 hour, and then go from Nuremberg to Berlin. And that's also not only for the northern connections, but also for the western direction. So if you want to go from Bayreuth to Frankfurt, or actually if you want to go from Bayreuth to anywhere by train, you always have to go through Nuremberg. And that's a little bit of a pain, but so just letting you know. And if you have any more questions about Bayreuth, I liked studying there. You can have different kinds of opinions on the professors and sorts, but there's also, if you're now thinking about how can I maybe find a job to support myself during studies, there's decent sized companies in Bayreuth. I can really recommend to find a working student job if you're studying anything like law, business administration, engineering, media maybe. Then there's decent medium-sized companies in Bayreuth that search for working students. It's quite well paid. And other than that, it's quite easy to find a job for in a cafe or working in a restaurant, because Bayreuth is quite a tourist city because of the history of Richard Wagner. Don't ask me too much about him, but he's present in Bayreuth everywhere. And once a year, I think you might know, but in case you don't, there's a big festival, but like a traditional festival, a classic music-ish festival, where the operas or theaters of Richard Wagner are being played, and then there's actually a long waiting list to see that. I think it's fully booked for the next 8 years or sorts, and then you have politicians coming and the German Chancellor coming, and it's a high society event. It's always in the late summer, if it's not suppressed by Corona, and that's mostly Bayreuth life. There's a few nice. It's generally a very clean city. Also, I really appreciate the job that the I don't know how to say that, the Stadtwerke, the city is keeping everything clean and tidy, and that's what I really liked. They have a few nice parks also directly in the city, and then some outside the city. And then you just only have to decide what are you going to study. But for people that don't need this really big city life as it is in Munich or Berlin or Frankfurt, but have a good atmosphere to study, have everything on one place, maybe on the campus, still have some international students there, people who don't like to sit in traffic and being stuck in commutes. I can really recommend Bayreuth. Or also if you're living on a budget, Bayreuth is also fine. And the education overall from what I can say now, is pretty decent. It's not easy, yeah. It's you really have to work, yeah. You really have to study. But I think that might be the case on every university at least. But I would say it's decent quality education, and yeah, so let me know if you have any more questions, and then I will see you next time. Bye bye.